I'm not added to the screen. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Monstrositus X here, and this is your man, your homeboy, your brother from another mother, Monstrositus X, here to bring you another Goddamn Comics show. And today we're talking about how DC and how DC and Marvel hate black superheroes. And but first, we should hold on. What's this here? Oh, here it is. All right. Yeah. So today we're talking about how DC and Marvel hates their black superheroes. Now, I know in this new age of diversity that they're trying their best to force feed all of these new characters and black characters on people. And me, as a black man, I am not really particularly happy at the way that they go about it. Now, a lot of these characters have had nice runs, like when Wesley Snipes came out as the Blade. He that was a fantastic movie. I liked the first one, and I think the following two were decent. They were good to establish the trilogy. I wish it was more of a consistent storyline, but uh, it was still a good run. And I, for the first series or uh, franchise of movies to do as well as it did, I believe that it was a pretty good run. Of course, I believe that again it should have been handled a little bit more different, but they have. I think that a lot of the movies today in the last few years has really made black characters look bad because in a lot of the different movie scenes and things that you see them in, there are scenes where certain characters are definitely not showing heroic characteristics, you know. And I know people have flaws and all of that, but for me, you don't see how the other characters fading away from the the hero's challenge, or or boasting about, especially boasting about how they're doing something when it's not really them. They're basically they're basically acting like they're doing something, but if it wasn't for someone else, they wouldn't have that ability to do whatever it is they're doing. So yeah, I think that we see a lot of examples in the TV, especially. They're really going. It's not just TV either. There's a lot of programming today that they're putting out there, but because this is a comic channel, a art channel, we're gonna try and keep it to the cart comic book realm and the creative realm. We're not going to get into the more serious stuff on this channel. So we're going to deal with cartoons and comic book stuff. And so this here, I'm going to be putting up cartoons or doing reviews of cartoons. And the next one I'm going to show uh, being that I have the Young Justice collection and the Justice League animated series and all of that, and the Batman and the Superman TV series. So I want to do some videos and stuff on those. So, but for now, yeah, I think that Marvel and DC has been really not showing the respect, because here, let's go to the video. Now, I think most of you would say that someone who would say that they would rather not. I know that, again, a lot of the different people have different ways of handling things. So, but you don't see Captain America saying, "No, I'm not going to go," or "I don't want to go," or "That's not," or shying away from a challenge. If he sees there's something going on, he's going to jump in feet first. So, again, here we go. All right. Let's share this mother. Okay. Oh. All right. Here we go. All right. Now, this is a scene from Ultron. This has been a few years. So, this is before Ultron is brought, takes his, comes to life and gains a body. There's a party going on, and what you see is stuff that I think is not really that heroic, or at least if you could say there are heroes that do this. Well, let me let you watch. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so now they're all sitting around, being cordial, see, having fun, partying, and you got, hold on, you got
right up to the general's palace, drop it at his feet. I'm like, boom, you looking for this? Boom, are you looking? Why don't I even talk to you guys? Everywhere else that story kills.
That's the host.
You see, now.
Oh, this is very good then.
You see, now this Rhodey, he's War Machine, right? But War Machine is not something that he did, something that he created. That's something that Tony Stark created. So if Tony Stark created it, why is he bragging so much? Because Tony let him borrow his car. I understand that he did it, but he wouldn't have been able to do it without Tony Stark's brilliance. So I don't get it. And then here you go, right behind that, they follow it up with,
"Sorry, I'm just trying to sound tough. Very happy chasing cold leads on our missing persons case."
You see that? Hold on.
Sorry, I'm just trying to. Sounds like a hell of a fight. Sorry, I'm missing.
Testosterone.
Oh my goodness.
Excuse me.
Want a lozenge?
When you go to the next, they're coming
Sounds
up
like
the
a hell of a
stairs.
fight. Sorry, I'm missing.
If I had known it was going to be a firefight, I absolutely would have called.
No, I'm not actually sorry. I'm just trying to sound tough. Very happy chasing cold leads on our missing persons case.
See?
Avenging is your world.
See? Avenging is your world. Is he playing the hero role, or is he? I understand he jumps in with both feet and all of that, but he takes on the mantle of Captain America, and Captain America, he jumps in feet first, and I just think that they just do him a disservice by making him shy away, and then the other black dude is bragging and boasting on Tony Stark's prowess. You know, Tony Stark is the one who created the Iron Man suits. Tony Stark is the one who put all of the armaments and the brilliant man who, even no matter if he was a arms dealer or producer or whatever, he created it. It's his brilliance. And because he let his friend jump in the front seat and drive sometimes, it's just like, wow, you bragging as if it was something that you did. You know, I understand he's flying and he's actually doing it, but you wouldn't be able to do it without Tony Stark. So maybe you should be a little bit more humble instead of bragging to everyone you see, because he goes on and he's walking around not only continuing to he's not even go, he continues to go on with it. Here he goes again.
I'm like, boom, you looking for this?
He's working the whole room with that story, and he's proud and boasting off of what something Tony Stark created. But he has to get his ounce of gratification by seeing somebody pleased by his accomplishment or Tony Stark's accomplishment. So I just don't agree with how some of these characters are being portrayed. And then here you go. The first thing, as soon as the fight starts, everybody's scrambling, and he's scrambling too, and everybody's taking their lumps, and then he gets knocked right out. Boom! Now he's out of the fight. He's not even there to do any fighting. He's out of it. So he's doing all this bragging 1 second. Now he's laid out while everybody else, including the female, is fighting. Look at him. Everybody's grabbing weapons, moving in, trying to take care of whatever they can do. But you don't see the black dudes. Where are they? Where are they? They both gone. It's all Tony. It's all Hawkeye, Black. Look at Thor. It's all Black Widow, the Hulk. Even though he didn't do much, he helped her. He tried to get out of the way by diving over the bar. It's just, where are they? Where are they? Where are these two heroes? That's what I'm saying, man. They just make black superheroes look bad. They get to be put in the movie, but they don't get to shine. They don't get to shine. They get to look like a couple of buffoons and bragging and shying away from the real adventures. And then they don't even get to prove themselves until when they really need to say, "Hey, let's give them show them a little bit of light, let's throw them a little something," and then you get to see them do something later on. It's just wild. I don't understand, but hey, that's how it is. So what can you do? That's how it goes. So. Yeah. So I think that black characters should be given a little bit better, shown a little bit more. I'm not trying to. If you're gonna make superheroes, black superheroes, how come you can't build them up so that the public can like them in the same way that the other characters are built up, like Cyborg? they made his origin story in the movie with the main storyline. Now, I'm gonna be doing that with some characters, but how come he couldn't get his solo storyline? Why couldn't he? Has an interesting enough story. I don't know his whole storyline as far as not, past his origin. I don't know like his first. I don't know his first adventures and things like that, because I was never really a DC guy. I just know him from the animated series, so I know, and the movies, the animated movies. So I know that he's an interesting character, someone who gets merged together with um, another character who gets merged together with, what is it, Dark Side, apocalypse type technology, a boom tube and all of that. Okay. Yeah, so that's the wrong. Yeah, so how come he couldn't get his own movie, building him up to the to be more of an important, well, they didn't have to make him a more important character, but I think that they could have given him his own movie, just like they have given Aquaman. Aquaman was never no really big superhero in my book. I always thought he was one of the weaker characters, but I guess him and Namor, they had to rival each other through the different comic book, uh, the different comic book companies. They had their little rivalry. So when the Fantastic Four came out, then DC came out with the Justice League, and then when the X-Men came out, DC and Marvel had their little back-to-back. Everybody, when they kept trying to one up, or they made their own copy of what the other guy was trying to do. So yeah, Cyborg had an interesting, I don't know his whole complete story, but I figured, why not give him a couple of, why couldn't they build him up with his own movie and allow him to come in separate, so that you could have him being more liked by the public, no matter what color. You know, if you give them a dynamic storyline and make it interesting, instead of these corny storylines like what they did with um, Wakanda with Black Panther. I thought that was a very corny storyline for the first movie for a major black character like that. So, and he had his whole country. So I don't know. I thought they should have gave Cyborg his own movie, because I've seen that scenario play out a few times in the animated stuff, in the cartoons. Did they show that in the cartoon series? I'm not sure. I think maybe they did in one of the Justice League episodes, or in maybe Young Justice. I'm not sure. But I know they did it in the movies, in the animated movies. They had the whole, I'm not sure if it was the let me see. Cyborg. Let's see if Cyborg. Cyborg's origin. Scene. Cyborg origin scene. I wonder what they showed this a couple of times. I know I've seen it in a few different movies. I know I've seen this in a few different movies. And a couple, not a few, but a couple. Justice League War. Okay, that's what it was in. Justice League War. So, yeah, Justice League War. So, why couldn't they give him his own shot? That was interesting enough. He had the whole thing between him and his father. And I think that could have been a decent movie if it was done right. If you gave him some good villains to go up against. The kid, I think he should have gotten his own villains. I don't know his villains. Cyborg's arch enemy. I don't know who his arch enemy is, but I think it would have been a decent movie. I think it could have made some money doing all of that transformations and all of that, and showing him mature, because in this movie I'm gonna do a review. They show him when he first starts becoming Cyborg, he's more in this clunky armor, and then as the movie goes forward, he the armor becomes a little more streamlined, and they could have done that in the movie too, had him adapting and upgrading and slowly maturing into the cyborg that he eventually becomes. That would have been a nice thing. I think they would have, as long as he was, and as well as have something, maybe something could have attacked him, had maybe had some kind of character attacking him, maybe some apocalyptic character attacking him, trying to retrieve the mother box technology from him, or to take him to see if they could reproduce him on Apocalypse or something. It would have been even. I think that's what they did with the parademons. I think the parademons were kind of mother boxed. So maybe they could have been taking him there to see how he regains control, his individuality, and do testing. It could have been so many different things that they could have done in a movie, and it would have been a good thing. But I don't think they want to put that kind of effort and money behind minority black movies anymore. Well, they never really have. They've only been lower budget stuff like Set It Off or Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, where they're not really showing any heroism. They're just showing black criminals. So yeah, this is an opportunity to show some quality, give him a base to where people could grow to like the character, instead of just throwing them into movies, into the big movies alongside the other characters. If they put the effort in and just treat him like he's a character, instead of worrying about if he's black or white. Because like I said, back in the days when Blade hit the scene, they just treated him like a character, and they threw him out there and everybody went to see him. I thought the movie did pretty well. I liked it. The first one especially, I liked it a lot. So I didn't think it was a bad movie in any way. There's nothing that I could think of, and I've watched that movie several times. So if they just treat him like a character, stop worrying about his ethnicity, except for maybe whatever cultural stuff. But he's some kind of scientist, so he would live more normally, or more, how you would say, he would live a little bit more like mainstream, because he went to college, he was in football, and then he had this father who was a scientist. So he would have been living high up on the hog. He would have pretty more of a assimilated lifestyle than, someone like from the hood or something like that. So you wouldn't have to worry about that kind of cultural differences. So that's what I mean. I don't see why he couldn't have gotten a more developed movie for himself, so that he could have been brought into the MCU like how they would the Flash, like they're doing with the Flash now. But now it's a lot of more problematic, because this guy that they're putting in there as the Flash is kind of, it's all politically charged. So I'm definitely not interested in seeing stuff like that. I don't want them. See, today, with a lot of TV and with these comic book shows, especially comic book shows, they're not putting any effort into these characters or these TV shows. That's what you see with Batgirl. They treated that, they threw these characters to some horrible. I didn't want to see a black person as Batgirl in the first place. I grew up watching that. Even though I didn't like this TV show, I liked when what's her name, Yvonne Craig was his name. I think that was her name, Yvonne Craig. Hold on, let me see. Batgirl, Yvonne Craig. Yeah, there she is. Yep. Yvonne Craig. See, now Batgirl. I grew up watching Batman and Robin, and this was Batgirl. Fine little white girl, you know. She was fine. That's what I grew up looking at. She was cute as hell. So I don't want to see some black person forced into this. Why couldn't they just create a new character? I don't understand why we have to get the leftovers. It's an insult to me. It's an insult that we can't, the same effort that you put into developing Batgirl, why not just develop an original character? These Riri Jacksons, who's basically knockoffs. It's no effort that they're putting in to develop the science behind a new character, the character, an original character. They don't. It doesn't have to be just like Cyborg. It doesn't have to be racially charged. He doesn't have to come from the hood. And even if she does, she doesn't have to act ghetto. She doesn't have to have a strong ethnic persona. She can be just a regular girl going to college, highly intelligent, excels in something, and builds or comes across something. There's all types of in Mike the graphic novel, or as I should say, um I have thousands of character names And so we are developing all sorts of characters and storylines. Like, okay, there's going to be, I'm going to not only have serious comics, but somewhere down the line, I want to bring together like the more comical superheroes and called like Afro Centons and other characters like that. So I have, let's see if this thing loads right. Yeah, buddy. That's my Bible. That's my comic book character Bible. And in here, these three what did they call composition notebooks? There's three composition notebooks, and they're tied together with string and all kinds of stuff. And it fell apart. The very first one fell apart. So I had to get a pair of old jeans and cut them up and glue and re-stitch. This is restitching right here. I restitched all of this stuff in here. Oops. I restitched all of this stuff in here. So so being that I had to restitch all of that stuff, and I had to tape it up to glue back on this binding strip here. But this is denim, heavy denim, so it's not gonna come off. The tape is worn off. It finally came away, broke away, but the glue is holding tight. But this book is secure. I'm not adding too many names to it anymore. I've kind of stopped creating characters as far as adding to the book. There's every once in a while I get a name that I throw in there, but I'm willing to let that go. It's one of these days we're gonna get that. We're gonna show y'all how we develop our names and our character names and all of that and our characters. So, but Mike is gonna be a great character. Have all kinds of new characters that I've put time and effort into building them up. And well, I'm all of them have their own individual storylines, and that I'm gonna try and get to all of at some point or another. So that's why I don't understand why they just can't develop new characters for some of these superheroes. Oh man. So I just realized that I didn't open up my OBS. So I thought I had recorded a segment, but I didn't. So I'm going to have to find another way to get that back out there. All right. So yeah, superheroes, they are not getting the treatments like that I would expect them to get. I would hope that they would get, because I think they should just treat them the way that anybody would want to be treated. It's not necessary to be so specific or be on the dot. Or you have to be loose with some of these characters. Like, you guys don't understand, but from what I understand, The Boys is another show where the character really gets no respect. The black character, at least. And I'm not sure. I think DC, they published some of them stuff through those. Well, it might not be a DC. I'm not sure, but I think DC brought up The Boys. But anyway, The Boys is another one where they have a character called Mother's Milk. And from what I understand, Mother's Milk is, they call him Mother's Milk. See, but then from what I understand, they go on to say that Mother's Milk is the name he was given. He's basically, he had his powers come from that. He has powers, and his powers comes from breastfeeding from his mother's breast, and he still has to do it to this day. So what superhero do you know has those types of origins? That's emasculating, belittling in every way, that you have to have your mother still milking her breast all these years just so that you could keep your powers. That's, oh my God, that's kind of be some of the worst things. Now, I'm gonna try to find the exact scene, but I can't do that right now because it's like 15 books. So, but go to Danny Malt, because he did these videos, Danny Malt, and you could watch them for yourself. Watch his videos. He did the whole the Boys series. So give him that big up and let him, and check out the whole The Boys series. He did a good job. It has nothing to do with him, what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about how these characters are created, and they have some of the craziest origins. Or not only that, it's not just the origins. How about that they're always portrayed as drug dealers or drug addicts or something. There's always something wrong with them. They don't have the typical. Now, we've seen drug addicts before, but how come they couldn't put somebody else? I don't remember, because in the comic book he's a white guy. So, and then in the show he's a black guy and he's on some kind of drugs. I don't remember him being on no V or whatever that drug is in the comic book. So I don't know if he was. Okay, because I didn't read it. I watched Danny Malt, but that was a while ago. I haven't watched it recently, so I don't know. I don't remember if it was the same. But I don't get why they have all of these. There's only 2 black characters in the show, superheroes, whether they're good guys or bad guys. There's only 2, so why does now he has a elaborate kind of storyline due to the drug thing, but aren't there any other types of storylines out there that you could give to a character? I understand that, again, like, he had one of the more elaborate storylines, except for, sexual harassment like the woman got, uh, which is something that they're pushing in. I think she could have gotten a better storyline, but because they're pushing this feminist agenda. So I think they need to stop. Some of these shows are pushing these agendas, and the diversity that they're supposed to be giving people are not what people are looking for. Now, they claim that they're trying to give Black people these diverse roles, but I think it's pitiful. Like with Lord of the Rings and putting Black dwarves into those types of shows, it's ridiculous. Dwarves and elves, this is not our culture. Now, dragons, from what I understand, is, but that's another video. So, yeah, we need to start looking at other things. We need to start helping. Well, tell you the truth, we need to stop asking for white writers and artists and creators to do what we should be doing. We should be building our own and trying to get our own stuff out there, and then it won't matter what and someone else depicts, because as long as we have depictions that work and they're not fluff and crap, that really gives you meaty, well thought out superheroes and villains and all of that, and don't try to go too preachy. Don't preach and just talk about the hero and the predicaments that you put them in, and the villains and their ideologies and their motivations. Then that's all you need. So yeah, but until then, because none of that's going to happen. None of that's going to happen anytime soon as far as Black characters are concerned. What's going to happen is all of this fluff and social justice pushing, and we're not going to see any quality anything from Black superheroes or movies, TV shows. We used to get some decent stuff back in the 90s and in the early 2000s. We had some decent entertainment. Now it's all of this forced ideologies, forced feminism, all of this stuff and then now that they've poisoned the waters, what they're gonna do now is and that they made now that they poisoned the waters and has everybody riled up and not really wanting to see this stuff anymore, they're not going to stop. What they're going to do is go more low key. They're still going to keep insulting you. They're not going to try to just write quality stories and develop quality stuff. They're still going to keep pushing it, but it's going to be more mixed in with the action that you're looking for, so that people will say, okay, well, at least it was entertaining, even though they're still forcing this ideology down your throat. So I say that we should not bow down to it. Make them stop. Otherwise, we're not gonna consume your garbage. We don't want to be told how to think and how to act. Just make the entertainment. Just make the entertainment good, well. Just make it well so that we can all enjoy it without all of the petty finger pointing and super glorifying any one or the other. Let's just put out the stories like we used to, just high quality, high entertainment, so that we can at least get back to enjoying something. You're creating a situation where people can't enjoy their time off. How is that good for anybody when people can't even enjoy their their leisure time? You work all day to come home to be force fed garbage or being made miserable by the so-called relaxing entertainments that these corporations are being put out, just because they want to appease the people who spend the most money. Feminine. The feminine. It's the feminine person that spends the most money. Women, they spend the most money, so they are trying to appease them and saying the hell with you. Because just like everybody else in America, the government, the law, they all go against the man. So even though the men built everything, creates everything, so we're supposed to just turn everything over. So let's stop doing this. Let's just get back to enjoying the entertainment. Like I said, hey, I'm creating entertainment of my own. Might is gonna be something that I create for my of my own. And so just like I'm saying, why don't you create something of your own that you could put out and represent what you want? See, Might is gonna have what I see that represents what I grew up with, the world that I saw when I was coming up, and the entertainment that I saw. I'm going to have black characters, but I know that you have the white folks in there. I'm going to have white folks in there. They're going to be quality white folks, or there's going to be criminal white folks, just like there's going to be quality black folks and criminal black folks. It's not going to try to play favorites. I just want to of course, I'm going to have some black characters in some prominent roles, because there's plenty of white characters in prominent roles, and I just want to see a vision of characters that I developed that I can be proud of. That's it. So yeah, let's just do that. Why not have everybody develop their own products, and when you get something that's good, put it out there for the people to develop and to like, and maybe get spread around. That's what the corporations should be looking for. People who put out quality stuff of their own, and then they should look to uplift that instead of forcing diversity on people. People could choose to enjoy this stuff that comes naturally, organically, instead of being force fed. If you got a good comic book and you put it out, no matter what your ethnicity, if it's good, if you have the art and the story that backs it up, why not let them develop it? Pay the people correctly and let them develop it and make it work for you. So, yeah, comics today and TV and movies, everything is different. They have a lot of characters out there, Marvel and DC. That was Marvel. DC is another one. DC, I'm going to be doing videos on this show. But I have the Young Justice series, and Young Justice is a good series, right? And it was a series that a lot of people I think liked because I bought it, and so it went for what, 3 seasons, and I bought them all. I bought those after the Justice League animated series, and I have the not only Justice League, I have the Justice League. I have again the I have Thunder the Barbarian, Johnny Quest. I have a lot of those uh, animated series. I have all of the X-Men. So these series were highly entertaining for me. I wish I could get some of the other ones that they have, like for instance, I wish I could have gotten the some of those, like the Silver Hawks, and because those are some of the more entertaining animated series that I've seen over the years. And speaking of entertainment, no, no. We don't want to mess up the show. We don't want to mess up the show. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Oh, we don't want to mess up the show. We don't want to mess up the show. Okay, because I've done that before, and it kicked me off, and I was probably had dead air. So you got to learn how to maneuver these waters here. So yeah, so I think there's a lot of things that people do as far as the major two. They can make the TV shows and the movies. I think that they should stay away from, if you're not gonna give the TV shows like as such as Black Lightning, those all of these shows, I think that they stayed on TV because they was forced them on, but not because they were quality. Tell you the truth, DC, as far as the TV shows, were pretty harsh. I've tried to watch um, Green Lantern. I mean, not Green Lantern. I tried to watch Green Arrow, and I made it through 3 seasons, I believe, but it's very hard to watch. I just could not make it through. Uh, and that was mostly because of the feminine stuff. All of the women, these little bony women, fighting, going in and fighting against men, and it just I just don't see these women in any capacity. They take one class of boxing or kick fighting, boxing or whatever it is. They don't show them getting any fighting skills whatsoever, but then they're on the street doing all of this fighting and winning, and it's unbelievable. It's it's asking for the people who watch this stuff to really suspend your belief systems in order to watch it and enjoy, like, which is you can't enjoy it. the people who watch the show is desperate for or very young, where they can watch that and not and believe it because their minds are not that developed yet. So and they just see superheroes jumping around, so they can watch it. But for someone my age, I can't watch stuff like that. I watched the Daredevil on Netflix, and that was good because they didn't have a lot of that feminist stuff in there. And even though they did have a little with the little Asian woman. Was she supposed to be playing? I forget who she was playing, but there's a little Asian woman in there, and she was playing a love interest to I think Daredevil. And so anyway, it was a pretty good show because they kept the action up, and they had the Punisher came through it, and he was kind of in it a lot. And then they had a couple of other stars in there, and they had a few good villains in there, the Asian gang, and then Kingpin, and yeah, they kept the interest and the excitement high. So I enjoyed watching that, and I got more out of that. The Punisher show wasn't as good to me. It was decent, but it wasn't as good because the Punisher was. It should have been. It didn't have the action. I thought they put that little girl in there, and it just it slowed it down too much worrying about this girl, and they made her this brilliant little. Yeah, I didn't like her whole thing and how her attitude. She was way too aggressively. Don't do this. Don't tell me that type of sort of thing. She really rubbed me wrong a lot, and so I wasn't really too happy with her even being in the show. And one minute she's always in trouble, and the next minute she's telling him to get off, get out of there. And then she's this brilliance, this, that, or the next, because she hacks. I think she's some kind of hacker or something. And there was too much lesbianism and stuff like that all around. I just, I just couldn't. It was good, like I said. Well, there wasn't lesbianism that much in that. Yeah, I'm thinking about one of the other shows. I'm thinking about one of the other DC shows. I mean, Marvel shows that was out. It was either, which is probably Jessica, what's her face, and Jessica Jones, something like that. So, Jessica Jones I didn't enjoy that. It was way too much feminist propaganda in there, and but at the end there was a twist because her friend kind of you have to go if you see it. There's a spoiler, whatever. It's got rot. This video got rot, because the whole time, see, I think how they handled her addiction, the friend, Jessica Jones's friend, her addiction or obsession. I think they handled hers a lot better than I've seen how they handle some of the black characters. But I still see how. I'm not saying her character was great or good but her storyline wind up being one of the better storylines overall in all of those Marvel TV shows. But like I said, I would put just the friend storyline. I would put her in after that storyline alone, not the whole Jessica Jones series, just the friend storyline. I would say that Daredevil was the best show. Then The Punisher, and then the part about the friend. You could throw that in there after, just the part about the friend, her storyline. But I wouldn't tell you to go watch the whole Jessica Jones series just to see this girl's storyline. And that's the problem. Because it was a painful show to watch. I watched it just so I could say that I watched it. But they took it off of Netflix, and so I don't see myself going back to do no reviews because I'm not going to Disney. I'm not gonna give Disney my money. I don't like that they try to tell people how to live, how to think, how to talk, how to walk. Because that's basically what you're doing, if you ask me. So yeah, we're not gonna be. I wouldn't advise anyone to go back and watch that. But the Defenders, it wasn't that great, but they at least had some halfway decent fight scenes in there. Some of the fight scenes in there was pretty good. They had a little bit too much uh the feminism in there. Again, where these little women, you don't know where she gets her abilities from, but all of a sudden she's the master teaching. Now I know I'm a little bit off my subject, but she's the master teaching the kid how to do martial arts, even though he grew up with these Buddha monks who taught him everything he should need to know. But then he's deferring to this chick who just learned some who knows, some kind of martial arts that she captured, but who got from who knows where, and all of a sudden she's comparable to this kid who was trained by legendary monks. It's just ridiculous in so many ways, and from so many aspects. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I found myself saying, damn, So anyway, I seen them put out shows like Luke Cage. Luke Cage is another show. Luke Cage is a show. Luke Cage was a show I watched, and I didn't really care for it because they really didn't put any effort in that either, if you ask me. Luke Cage. Luke Cage. Luke Cage was a show that well, they had him training right from young. They showing Luke Cage training as a youngster, right, and coming up boxing practically his whole life. And even when he goes to prison, he's still fighting and punching and training, right? So this is what I didn't understand. If he's this boxing, fighting all his time, but then when he's out here, look at him, he's always training. The whole time, well, in the beginning, not the whole time. They just showed him from the time he was a kid. He's training how to box, training and fighting from Golden Gloves. And even after he goes to prison, he's boxing and doing these illegal fights or underground fights in the prison. So, but then when he's out in the street, there's no skill, there's no technique to anything. He's no boxing skills. He just grabs people and throws them around. There's no technique whatsoever. And that's even when he goes up against people who's supposed to be strong or whatever, it's always the same thing, just brute force. There's never anything, any technique. Like I said, there's no technique. So everything gets boring. You don't want to see him do anything because it's always the same thing every time. He grabs him, throws him around. He's so strong, but look at him. He looked like he's gonna fall over when he see, look at that. He looked like he's gonna fall over. He's supposed to be super strong, so why is he looking at him? They're always trying to show off his super strength, but it's the same old boring stuff. Just him walking through stuff and then grabbing dudes and throwing them around, and it's corny. It gets corny fast. And the storylines are corny. And then they have these things about the big mama, where the woman is in charge. They got Alfre Woodard in here in charge. And it just doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, Luke Cage. Luke Cage is supposed to be this great superhero in here, but they never show him. He's fighting all of these dudes, but you really don't see him showing any technique, even though in the beginning he's training all this time to be this boxer, and you never see him with any real technique. We're out here. Even when he's boxing, he's the actor that they got. He fits the bill as far as his look, but they don't give him any choreograph. They didn't bother to choreograph any of the fight scenes, and so that they were interesting. All of the fight scenes in Daredevil, and even the fight scenes in Punisher were very well choreographed. I enjoyed watching them dismantle the criminals that they were fighting against, and the Punisher, he had his military training, so I figured, okay, at least from Luke Cage, you can get to see some boxing skills. These guys are coming in there, they're not only just punching, shooting at him, but they are literally trying to hit him. So they can show him doing a little bit of fighting techniques, show a little bit of any type of, just a little bit of fighting skills, just to make it interesting, but it's all the same type of thing. He just takes the bullets and then he walks through people, throwing them around. And then they have him going up against old black women. Women in their 60s, 70s is the top dog or the bad guy. So again, the villains make, to me, villains make the good guy. Without quality good guys, there are no. The heroes are good for nothing. So if you, especially in a medium like TV or the movies, you have to have quality fight scenes. You can't be seen doing this every single time. It's the same thing over and over, and it gets boring quick. And so you can see Marvel, they hate their characters. They hate. They're not really trying to give him a quality show because it's always the same thing. No matter who he's going up against, there's no quality bad guys here. There's nobody to threaten him, to make him vulnerable, to show his vulnerabilities or his weak sides or anything. It's always the same thing, and it was just, I just didn't respect the show. I didn't. I couldn't respect the show because it was just too corny. It didn't do enough. It just didn't do enough. It didn't give him the quality bad guys. He should have had quality bad guys that he could go up against. But this dude, he's not doing. He's wasting his time. This is a regular man, and he's not doing anything to him. So if you know there's no real threat, I think he shot him with a bullet or something like that that was able to penetrate his skin. But it was corny. That's all you got? Really? See? And then he grabs him and throws him. That's it. They grab him and throws him. He grabs him and protects by him. That's what he's been doing throughout the whole season. All of this, the whole series, that's all he did. It was the same thing over and over. There was no technique to his fight. It was just angry black man. That's all it was. The Iron Fist, it wasn't a good show either. I didn't enjoy that one, but it had better bad guys and it had better choreographed fight scenes. Way better choreographed fight scenes. So, though it wasn't as good, well, neither one of these shows were good. So, but at least the fight scenes were more distracting. At least the bad guys were more qualified. And in all of the other shows, look at that. It's just weak. It's weak. His stuff is good, but Luke Cage is doing nothing. There's no technique. There's no technique. They didn't even show him do a couple of quick blocks and then go after the guy. No, it's just move, grab him, throw him. Move, grab him, flip him. Move, grab him, throw him. Absorb the bullets. Grab him, throw him, knock him around. See, that's it. There's nothing else. Nothing else. I think Method Man got a cameo here. Yeah, Method Man's right here in the coat. That's it. See? It's nothing to it. There's no real threat. there's no real adversaries that he's going after. So how can a show like this succeed? If black people like watching the same quality, that's why I didn't like the comic book, because there was no real bad guys that you could really enjoy. The character itself and how they developed him was corny, and from what I remember, a lot of the storylines from the comic book was corny. But again, I haven't read those books since I was a kid, the Power of Man books, and that's because I didn't find myself enjoying those books. They wasn't books that I said, "Wow," when I read through them, and I remember reading through those because I was young back then when I got those books, and I'm not going to say that the art was bad, because I do remember having some decent art. It's just that it didn't have the type of art. It didn't have the stories that I was more interested in. So yeah, I'm just saying that it had better fight scenes, better choreographed fight scenes in Luke Cage, The Defenders. Even in The Defenders, Luke Cage was relegated to poorly designed fight scenes, doing the same thing while all of these other characters got to do elaborate kicking and all of this, and all he did was punch people, throw people around. When this guy gets to block and do all of this elaborate stuff, even though, like I said, it was more corny than what they was doing with the Punisher and Daredevil. Daredevil's fight sequences were way better, but his stuff could be seen as decent at times. At times, there were some really corny times. But then again, here you go. Luke Cage walks in, and you get throwing around, punching around. There's nothing elaborate about what he's doing. It's not what he does is not exciting. That's all he does. You see, he's in there to block the bullets, and then he pushes them around, throws them around. No elaborate fight sequences. Had to appreciate the Daredevil scenes, though. Daredevil scenes was always did not like her, even though she was just another, basically Luke Cage, someone who punched through it. But I wouldn't say that they made her fight scenes even better either. So yeah, I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. I think that they should have. If he's this boxer, why not show some more boxing skills? Get some bad guys in there. They should have brought in some bad guys who had some power, strength, just so that they could go up against him. They should have brought in one of them big wrestling dudes to play Kingpin, and then have him going up against Kingpin. Just like how I think Daredevil did fight him a couple of times. Yeah, they should have just went at it, man. Even if it didn't have Kingpin, bring in another guy, somebody specific for Luke Cage, instead of having all of this stuff. It's just nobody, he just didn't get the shine. There was a scene in the back of there was a scene in where they was all in this diner or this restaurant, this little Asian restaurant, and they basically destroyed the place, but they were surrounded inside this little small place. So instead of and then the bad guys drove a car through the wall and had it so that Luke Cage, all he had to do was kick the car out into the street and take out a bunch of those dudes. But they didn't let him do that. They just had him walking around blocking the bullets. And instead of they let him go out and come back, go out and kick the car out and take out a few guys and then go outside and take out some dudes while the rest of them fought on the inside, giving him more of an elaborate sequence. Nah, they had them all stay inside fighting this cornball fight in the end, near the end of the show. So I don't know. This is again poor use of a man. I don't know. I've seen other strong men used a lot better than how he was used. And when you just have a strong man with no real technique, the show's not going to last. The show's just not going to last. So, yeah, we need to get that back. We definitely need to get people back into developing better. Well, like I said, either let people develop their own, give them the money to develop their own ideas of a quality show, or, well, I don't want to say don't do it at all, because then you won't get nothing. So, yeah, I don't know what to say as far as that. But I definitely don't want to see this, because these shows are destined not to last. Now, I would definitely watch more of The Punisher and Daredevil, but the rest of them shows I couldn't stand it if they would have made any more of them. It just, I couldn't watch it anymore. It's just too much to deal with. So yeah, Luke Cage was not a show, and I think that they did him a disservice, and I thought that that could have been handled a lot better. That's why I never really liked the character when I was coming up, except for when they put him together with Iron Fist, and then they had him on the Defenders, and I believe he was on the Avengers a couple of times, but by then I wasn't really caring. If I was buying the Avengers or anything like that, I don't know how many Avengers comic books I have. I don't think I have too many. Back in the day, I bought more in the 90s, but back in the 70s, I don't think I bought too many Avenger comic books. Tell you the truth, I don't think I have too many Defender comic books. And either way, I didn't have a whole lot of comic books. If I had 100, that would have been a lot. Maybe 150, something like that. Maybe 2. And even then, I would have been older by the time I got back kind of numbers, because I would have gotten the money to be able to buy my own comics by then. So I had to have been like in my 1920, something like that, when I started really picking up with purchasing books, because I had my own job, and then Forbidden Planet was right across the street from one of the jobs I worked on. So I used to go up there, and I knew where that spot was for a while, because the union that I belonged to was around the corner from Forbidden Planet. So yeah, I used to stop there a lot back in the day and picked up a lot of comics. So yeah, we need to really just do better. That's all I can really say. Stop with all of the force, and don't force it, and just make quality, treat the characters like they are just characters. Stop trying to push the issue. So yeah. So yeah, let me see. What am I going to? Oh yeah. Yeah, so a lot of, I don't know, a lot of people I've been watching a lot of TV trying to help guide my story, and I've been trying to keep my ideas focused so that I can oh, I can't do that. So that I can build some, let's see what this is. Okay. Okay. Oh, I don't want to show that. Okay. All right. Yeah, so I've been working on developing different kinds of characters and storylines for a while now. Trying to make sure that I can get as many characters. Well, that's not what I'm attempting to do. I don't want to bring as many characters as possible to you. That's not what I want to do. I want to bring as many stories, and if I can, as many stories as I can develop, uh, legitimately. I don't want to rush anything or force anything, but I do want to get a lot of my story ideas out to you guys, and so that's why Mike is such an important thing for me. I like Mike because I'm not going to be doing this to my characters, and I'm not going to do it to white characters either, because I think that that's not fair. Well, fairness, I don't really care about fairness. I don't want to treat my characters like that. That's all. I'm gonna do what makes the story works. I'm not gonna be thinking about racial this and racial that. Of course, there's gonna be stuff in there, things that happen, but it's gonna be having to do strongly with the story and with the plot lines. There's the characters, the bad guys, all of those types of things. I'm not trying to have this sort of, not trying to have things to where I want to be able to have my characters do well because they're well made and the stories are well developed and they draw you in, right? That's what I want. That's what I want to be known for, to developing stories and characters that people want to be a part of. I don't want to just. I want to shift her shoulders more, and then have more hip action. Like, okay, this I have to drop down some. Like this. And then if I shift the shoulders, okay, I'm gonna have to do all of this like this. And then, all right, bring this over here. Okay. All right, let's see. Yeah, so I want to develop these characters so people can enjoy and like them and love to enjoy reading about them. So that you want to come back for more, and that you have a great experience reading them, and that the adventure is something that'll keep you interested and, again, coming back for more. So that's what I'm interested in. I want to be known as a good writer and an entertaining storyteller. Let's see. Is she looking too tall? No. Looking a little hippie. Hippie dippy weather man. Some hippie dippy weather man. So this is a character that I've been working on. This gotta go. This has got to go. It's got to go. It's got to go. Okay. Okay. Okay, that last one need to go there. Right there. Okay, she's a little lanky. I think the shoulder's too far out. I have to move her head over a little. Like that. Something like that. Okay, we're gonna have to bring this in a little bit. Well, all right. It's getting a little dark there. She's looking a little long. She's looking long and bony. I don't want a bony. Do. Gotta have a long shoulder. I don't know, maybe her body's too long. Maybe her body's too long. Because what I'm getting right here, is that this is too long. Yeah, her breast, her breast gotta go the other way. Definitely. Now that she's twisting, yeah, definitely gotta go this way. She definitely gotta come more this way. All right, let's straighten this up a little. Let's not go too carried. Get too carried away with that. Okay, let's leave that out. Right there. Much better. Too many points down here. Probably have t-shirt shit like this. Wrinkles. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. She's looking better now. Looking a little thin, but I think I can beef her up just a smidge. Can't put too much. Put too much and she looked too masculine. Let's go back. Nope, put that back. Okay. Get rid of this. There. Fingers gotta be a little longer here. And then this foot would come down here. Let's see if I got the length. No, she need more legs. She definitely need more legs. Oh no. Okay. That's pretty good. Pretty accurate. Pretty. Just a little bit more calf. Less knee. But it's gotta be more, definitely. Now, let me see. Let's find out. All right, let's test it out now. Okay, to the ankle, to the wall. To the ankle, to the wall. Booyah shaka. That's it. Let's see, let's get rid of some of that. Just too much. Never too much, never too much, never too much. And then I guess the foot got to come back this way. I think I gotta shorten that calf. You gotta have more shin. It's all about the shape. I'm gonna have more of an elongated. It ain't looking sexy no more. Something I did in that last couple of seconds. Just turned that shit off. Okay. All right. So I guess this back leg gotta straighten up a little bit. Straighten up and fly right. Can't be too low. Okay, this has got to come forward a little, right? I don't know. Maybe it's because it's so low. Maybe so low. I was thinking about perspective. I think I've got the bend of the leg wrong or something. The proportion, that's what it is. Thigh should be higher. And then the same with the it's starting to look better because proportions is off. Needed a longer calf. Yeah, I think I'm turning it too much. I'm turning it too much. It looks a little better. Let me see if the length is right. It looks a little too long now. Okay, that's pretty good. Doo-doo-doo. What time is it? Oh, let me get out of here. Let me get on up. Get on up. Get on up. Get on up now. Just get on up. Just get on up now. Wanna get on up. On the good foot. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get up on out of here. Thanks for coming through, taking the time, chill out, hang out with me for a little bit. Till the next time, I'd like to say farewell. Like, subscribe, do that YouTube thing, and we'll see you the next time. Y'all come back now, you hear?